Thousands of driving licenses have been issued to Saudi women since the rules changed in the summer of last year. But what are the major plans that the kingdom plans to implement for its women this year? That's what we're discussing in this edition of Inside AB. I'm Bernd de Boosman and I'm here with Shruti Nair. So, Shruti, fill us in on where we are with this so far. How many licenses have been issued to women so far?
Right, 40,000 is the exact number of the licenses that have been issued so far since the ban was lifted in June last year. So Major General Muhammad Al-Bassami, who is the Director General of Traffic Department, said that he is also going to be opening 14 new driving schools just for women. So, you know, there are more women being encouraged to drive and be on the roads. But all of this is also going to boost women's employment, which we've seen in the last year already. In just like a few months, we've seen a huge number of women joining the workforce and actively being a part of the employment department in Saudi Arabia. So it is estimated to add about 90 billion to the economic output by 2030. So yes, it is going to do well for the country's economy as well.
So what about the automotive industry?
Well, the automotive industry is also obviously going to be affected because more women on the road means more cars are going to be bought. So by 2020, 20% of the female population, which is about roughly 3 million people or 3 million women, are going to be seen on the roads of Saudi Arabia. So which means there's going to be an 8% per annum increase in passenger vehicle sales until 2022. Huge number. They're going to make huge profits out of this. And the positive impact of a new customer segment over the next say 3 years will be felt in the automotive market, which has been valued at around $7.4 billion back in 2017.
But it's not just personal vehicles that women will be able to drive now, right? It's broader than that.
Correct, yeah. So family taxis, again, that is also going to be seen very often on the roads of Saudi Arabia. So licenses are issued to registered companies and not to individuals. So there are going to be women who will be allowed to drive family taxis, but again, it comes with a set of regulations. For example, there has to be an adult female Saudi woman in the car when you're driving one of the family taxis. No men or even younger boys will be allowed to sit in the front seat along with the driver. So it comes with a whole set of regulations, but also companies that will register for the family taxis, they must have at least a fleet of 10 vehicles. So a bunch of it, but again, it's still empowering the women to go out and drive, not just personally, but also commercially.
And, you know, a lot of people have said that 2018 was kind of the year of Saudi women. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely do. A lot of reforms have been seen, and we've seen a lot of Saudi women coming out and not just addressing their issues, but even like catering, their needs are being catered to. So we saw that earlier last year, I think in Jan, the sports stadium allowed Saudi women to come, and there was a separate section where Saudi women could actually sit and enjoy and watch their favorite sport. Military schools have started accepting applications from women right now, which is again a huge deal. Admissions are being given, actually it was given in one flight school in Saudi Arabia as well in the same year, just a couple of months after the whole stadium thing happened. And the first business forum for women was also launched and it happened in March. So where it was said that, you know, they can start their own businesses freely. They don't really need a guardian or they don't need a mentor to give them permission to start their own businesses. They can just go out and do it freely. And we've also seen a number of movements coming from Saudi women. Of course, everybody knows about the hijab movement and the protests that have been happening and how they've been very vocal about it. But apart from that, recently we saw the Inside Out protest, which is basically a lot of Saudi women posted pictures on social media with wearing flipped robes. So they wore their abayas inside out in a rare protest against the strict dress code, where they wanted to go to work without following a very strict dress code. So we've seen a lot happening from Saudi, and Saudi women aren't just raising their voices, but they're also getting their rights finally. So I would say it has been a year for the Saudi women.
Interesting. Well, thank you, Shruti. Of course, we've covered a lot of these topics, especially the economic impact of women driving in Saudi Arabia at ArabianBusiness.com. You're watching Inside AB. Make sure to tune in every weekday morning at 10 a.m. and subscribe below. Thank you.